If you are 70 and can still walk unassisted for 30 minutes a day, you're doing far better than most people give themselves credit for. It may seem like a simple thing, just walking and no gym membership, no heavy equipment, no special training. But don't underestimate the value of this ability. Being able to walk briskly, on your own, for half an hour a day is a major indicator of overall health, independence, and vitality. It says something not just about your legs, but about your heart, lungs, brain, balance, and even your emotional well-being. Walking, especially at a steady pace, requires the coordination of several key systems in the body. Your musculoskeletal system must be strong enough to support your weight and maintain proper posture. Your cardiovascular system must be healthy enough to supply oxygen-rich blood to your muscles and brain. Your nervous system must be alert enough to manage balance and coordination. At 70, if you can engage all of these systems for 30 minutes without needing a cane, walker, or help from another person, it shows that your body has held on to its essential resilience. Health professionals often use walking ability as a practical gauge of aging. It's not just about how far or how fast you can go, but about how confidently and consistently you can do it. If you can walk for half an hour, it means you still have the stamina to move through daily life on your own. Grocery shopping, climbing stairs, cleaning the house, these are things that become increasingly difficult when mobility declines. Walking helps you maintain that crucial independence. It means you're less likely to need assistance for everyday tasks, which is a powerful marker of aging well. But it goes beyond the physical. Walking has profound mental and emotional benefits. That 30 minutes of movement can boost your mood, reduce feelings of loneliness, and even sharpen your thinking. When you walk, especially outdoors, your brain gets a gentle workout too. You're taking in sights and sounds, navigating terrain, and maybe even engaging in light conversation with neighbors or passers-by. All of that stimulates cognitive function in subtle but powerful ways. Studies show that regular walking is linked to lower risks of dementia, depression, and anxiety in older adults. It's medicine, in a form that doesn't need a prescription. One of the most important things walking gives you is a rhythm to your day. As we age, our schedules can become quieter. Friends move, family gets busy, work may be long behind us. Having something regular like a daily walk builds routine and purpose. You get up, get dressed, and go. That ritual itself is deeply beneficial. It gives you a sense of structure, something to look forward to. And once you're out and moving, the benefits keep compounding. Let's not forget balance and fall prevention. Falls are one of the greatest risks to health and independence in older adults. Walking regularly strengthens the muscles that stabilize your hips, knees, and ankles. It keeps your reflexes sharper and your stride steadier. People who walk every day tend to fall less, recover more quickly when they do, and have fewer injuries over time. If you can still take that daily 30-minute walk without fear of stumbling, you're not just fit, you're protecting your future self from the kind of setbacks that can drastically change your lifestyle. Another thing to consider is bone density. After age 50, especially for women, bones can weaken. Weight-bearing exercise like walking helps slow down that process. Each step you take sends signals to your bones that they're still needed, still in use. That kind of gentle stress actually makes bones stronger over time. So every time you walk, you're reinforcing your skeletal strength in ways you may not even realize. From a cardiovascular standpoint, walking at a good pace gets your heart pumping just enough to keep it strong. A healthy heart means better blood flow to your organs, better endurance, and less fatigue throughout the day. For people over 70, this translates into more energy for hobbies, travel, family time, and just living life fully. The truth is, many people at 70 can no longer walk on their own for that length of time. They may rely on a walker or get winded after only a few minutes. So if you can still do it, still tie your laces, open the door, and head out into the world for a walk, you're already winning. You've preserved your independence, protected your physical and mental health, and made an investment in your future. So don't think of it as just walking. Think of it as a daily act of strength. Every step you take is a quiet but powerful statement. You're still capable, still resilient, and still very much alive in the full sense of the word. If you're 70 and still mentally sharp, still able to hold a meaningful conversation, remember names and appointments, and think clearly. You are winning at life in a way that's more significant than many realize. Mental sharpness at this age isn't just luck. It reflects a lifetime of habits, stimulation, and emotional resilience. It means your brain, which has worked tirelessly for decades, is still flexible, engaged, and functioning at a high level. Mental sharpness involves more than just memory. It's about your ability to reason, focus, process new information, and make sound decisions. It also includes emotional intelligence, say how well you navigate relationships, regulate your mood, and maintain perspective in the face of life's ups and downs. If you're still mentally quick, alert, and curious at 70, it suggests that your mind is not only aging well, but thriving. One of the most telling signs of this mental vitality is the ability to engage in conversation. Not just chit-chat, but meaningful, connected dialogue. When you can share stories, respond thoughtfully, ask questions, and genuinely listen, you're demonstrating a high level of cognitive function. These seemingly simple interactions require memory recall, language fluency, social awareness, and emotional regulation, all complex mental skills that need to work in harmony. If you can still enjoy long conversations and keep track of what's being said, you're not just participating in life, you're enriching it for those around you. Another major sign of mental sharpness is memory, not perfect, photographic memory, but functional memory that allows you to live independently. If you can remember your appointments, keep track of medications, recall what someone told you yesterday, or remember details about your loved ones, that's a strong indicator of brain health. Short-term memory loss is common with age, but if you're still mostly on top of your day-to-day responsibilities and social relationships, your cognitive engine is still running smoothly. Let's talk about decision-making, another crucial part of mental sharpness. At 70, you've likely faced a lifetime of decisions, some easy, some very difficult. If you can still weigh options, think critically, and make good choices, it shows that your executive function is intact. That part of the brain helps you plan, prioritize, and avoid impulsive or risky behavior. Many people start to lose this capacity with age, but if you still feel confident making decisions for yourself, managing finances, or organizing your household, that's a powerful reflection of mental resilience. Staying mentally sharp also means being able to learn new things. Whether it's picking up a new skill, adapting to technology, reading books, or simply being open to new ideas, learning keeps your brain agile. The aging brain, contrary to what many believe, is still capable of growth and adaptation. It just needs stimulation. If you're someone who enjoys reading, trying new recipes, using a smartphone, or even exploring new music or podcasts, you're exercising your brain's plasticity. And that ability to keep learning is one of the strongest signs that your mind is still in excellent shape. Many experts also emphasize the connection between mental sharpness and emotional health. If you're still able to maintain perspective, manage stress, and respond calmly to life's challenges, that's another indicator of mental wellness. Emotional regulation requires self-awareness, reasoning, and resilience, all functions of a healthy brain. And if you can laugh easily, express gratitude, and maintain healthy relationships, those are signs that your cognitive and emotional systems are still working in sync. It's also important to recognize how much your environment influences mental sharpness. People who stay socially connected, physically active, and mentally engaged tend to preserve their cognitive abilities much longer. Isolation, on the other hand, is one of the biggest threats to brain health. If you're still reaching out to friends, joining clubs or groups, helping others, or staying active in your community, you're feeding your brain the social and intellectual stimulation it needs. Let's not forget lifestyle factors. Mental sharpness at 70 is often the result of years and even decades of good habits. Regular exercise increases blood flow to the brain. A balanced diet rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and fiber supports cognitive health. Sleep allows your brain to repair and organize memories. And limiting alcohol, avoiding tobacco, and managing stress protect your brain from long-term damage. If you've made even some of these a part of your life, your current sharpness is a reward for those choices. But even if you haven't done everything perfectly, Being sharp now means you've likely found ways to stay mentally active and emotionally balanced. It might be the crossword puzzles you do every morning, the time you spend with grandchildren, or your love of storytelling. It might be your spiritual life, your volunteer work, or your deep engagement in your hobbies. These are all powerful tools for maintaining clarity and connection. When health professionals assess aging well, they don't just look at physical health. Mental health, especially the ability to think clearly and stay engaged, is just as important. A sharp mind allows you to continue making your own choices, contribute meaningfully to others, and enjoy the full depth of life's experiences. It enables you to protect your dignity, maintain your independence, and preserve your sense of identity. So if you're 70 and your mind is still agile, if you're still reading, thinking, remembering, and enjoying deep conversations, that is a profound gift. It means you're not merely getting older, you're aging well, with strength and clarity. It means you're still showing up for life, with wisdom, presence, and purpose. And that, in the eyes of any expert, is truly winning. At 70, if you can consistently get 6 to 8 hours of restful, uninterrupted sleep, you're doing something deeply right, something that countless older adults struggle with, sometimes quietly, sometimes desperately. It may not seem glamorous, it may not be the kind of thing people boast about over dinner, but the ability to sleep soundly at this stage of life is one of the clearest indicators of good health, balanced habits, and emotional resilience. According to nearly every health expert and sleep specialist out there, maintaining healthy sleep patterns is not only a sign of aging well, it's a key contributor to staying strong in mind, body, and spirit. Sleep changes as we age. That's no secret. The sleep we enjoyed in our 30s and 40s, a full night of deep, uninterrupted rest, often becomes harder to come by. You might wake more during the night, feel less refreshed in the morning, or find yourself dozing off during the day. That's common, but it's not always ideal. If at 70 you're still able to lie down, fall asleep within a reasonable time, stay asleep most of the night, and wake up feeling more or less restored, you're ahead of the curve. Good sleep at this age is a sign that your nervous system is in relatively good shape. It means your brain can cycle through the different stages of sleep, including the deep, slow-wave sleep that's essential for physical repair, and REM sleep, which helps with memory and emotional processing. People often underestimate how crucial these sleep stages are, but scientists now know that during deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, strengthens the immune system, and performs internal housekeeping. Your brain clears out toxins that have built up during the day. In REM sleep, your mind processes emotions, sorts through memories, and resets itself for the day ahead. If you're consistently achieving these stages of sleep, it means your system is still operating efficiently. Now, let's talk about what poor sleep does, because that's what gives the value of good sleep its real weight. Chronic insomnia, sleep apnea, or fragmented sleep patterns can take a serious toll, especially in older adults. Poor sleep is linked to everything from high blood pressure and heart disease to depression, anxiety, and memory loss. In fact, sleep deprivation has a cumulative effect. It wears on you slowly, quietly, affecting your mood, your focus, your motivation, and eventually, your long-term health. If you've ever gone through a stretch of bad sleep, you know what I mean. You feel foggy, irritable, and physically drained. That's not how you want to spend your later years. So if at 70, you can sleep through the night without relying on heavy sleep medications, you are protecting yourself from a host of physical and cognitive problems. You're giving your body time to repair its tissues, restore energy, regulate hormones, and strengthen your immune function. That means fewer illnesses, quicker recoveries, and a generally more vibrant sense of well-being. Good sleep is also strongly tied to emotional balance. People who sleep well tend to have better control over their mood, more patience, and a greater ability to handle stress. That's because sleep helps regulate the amygdala, the brain's emotion center. When you're sleep deprived, this area becomes more reactive. That's why even small things feel overwhelming when you're tired. On the other hand, when you're well rested, you can respond with calm, clarity, and confidence, qualities that become even more valuable with age. There's also a profound connection between sleep and cognitive health. More and more research is pointing to sleep quality as a major predictor of memory retention and mental sharpness in later life. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories and clears out beta-amyloid, a substance associated with Alzheimer's disease. In simple terms, your brain needs sleep to stay clean and functional. That's why long-term sleep problems are linked to a higher risk of cognitive decline. So if your brain still lets you drift off and stay asleep for most of the night, you're doing one of the most important things you can do to protect your mind. Let's not forget how sleep impacts your energy and mobility. If you're sleeping well, you're far more likely to wake up with the energy needed to move, walk, stretch, and engage with your world. Poor sleep, on the other hand, often leads to fatigue, which then discourages movement and leads to a more sedentary lifestyle. That starts a vicious cycle. Less activity leads to worse sleep, which leads to even less energy. Breaking that cycle starts with rest. So your ability to sleep well actually supports your physical independence and mobility. Sleep also affects your appetite, weight, and metabolism. When sleep is out of balance, your body produces more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and less leptin, the hormone that signals fullness. This imbalance can lead to overeating, especially of sugary or starchy foods, which then affects blood sugar, cholesterol, and cardiovascular health. So by sleeping well, you're also helping regulate your metabolism and weight, which, at 70, is a quiet but powerful act of self-care. If you're wondering what it takes to maintain that ability to sleep well at this age, the answer is not a mystery. It's about consistent, healthy sleep hygiene and lifestyle habits over time. That means avoiding caffeine late in the day. It means limiting alcohol before bed, as it disrupts sleep cycles. It means keeping a consistent bedtime and wake-up schedule even on weekends. It often involves getting natural sunlight during the day, staying active, and limiting screen time at night. And perhaps most importantly, it means creating a sleep environment that's cool, dark, quiet, and comfortable. Many older adults also benefit from nighttime rituals: a warm bath, light stretching, soft music, or a cup of herbal tea. These small acts signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. They train the body to expect rest, and in time, they become deeply calming. If you're already doing these things and finding success, keep going. You're not just sleeping, you're building the foundation for healthy aging. Finally, if you can sleep through the night and wake up feeling okay, not perfect, not leaping out of bed like you're 25, but reasonably refreshed, you're enjoying one of the most underrated pleasures of aging well. It means your body and mind are in sync. It means your health is balanced enough to support deep, restorative rest. And it means you're giving yourself the energy, patience, and presence to enjoy your life, your relationships, and the simple beauty of each day. So don't take it for granted. Celebrate it, and know that in the eyes of health experts, restful sleep at 70 is a quiet triumph, a sign that you've cared for yourself well, that you've endured, and that you are still winning, one peaceful night at a time. At 70, if you can still cook your own meals and manage your daily nutrition independently, you are doing far more than simply feeding yourself. You are demonstrating coordination, memory, planning, physical strength, and an enduring sense of self-reliance. It might seem like just a part of everyday life, something ordinary, but make no mistake, the ability to prepare your own meals at this age is an extraordinary signal of overall health and independence. It reflects not just physical capacity, but mental sharpness, emotional balance, and long-standing habits of self-care. Think about what cooking truly involves. It's a full-body, full-mind activity. It begins with planning and choosing what to eat, understanding your dietary needs, remembering what you have in your pantry or refrigerator, and knowing what needs to be bought. You make decisions: what's healthy, what fits your budget, what suits your energy level for the day. These are cognitive skills rooted in executive function. When you make these decisions well, it shows that your thinking, reasoning, and memory are still working together. Then comes the actual act of shopping for groceries, which requires mobility, vision, focus, and sometimes even social interaction. If you're still able to go to the store, or order online, choose fresh ingredients, read labels, and stick to a shopping list, you're already ahead of the curve. Navigating the aisles, making comparisons, and resisting impulse buys, of these are all real, often underestimated, challenges that require attention and self-discipline. Once you return home, preparing a meal involves multiple layers of coordination. You must move around your kitchen, retrieve ingredients, handle tools and utensils, measure amounts, and cook with timing. This demands hand strength, balance, coordination, and spatial awareness. If you can do this without dropping items or injuring yourself, it means your fine motor skills and reflexes are still solid. And at 70, that's a significant advantage. But it's not just about the physical act. Cooking is inherently an act of care, often self-care, and sometimes the care of others. It shows that you value nourishment, rhythm, and tradition. You're not just throwing something into the microwave or grabbing packaged snacks. You're preparing food that feeds your body with the right nutrients, proteins, fiber, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. And if you're doing it with intention of thinking about your salt intake, your sugar levels, or your portion size, so you're not just living, you're managing your health consciously. That kind of self-management is rare, and it's powerful. At this age, many people begin to experience reduced appetite, changes in taste, or digestive issues. Some lose motivation to cook, especially if they live alone. For these reasons, a lot of seniors start relying on prepackaged meals, fast food, or snacks high in sodium and low in nutrients. The result: a quiet decline in energy, immune function, muscle strength, and even mood. Malnutrition among seniors is more common than many realize, and not because of poverty alone, but because people gradually stop preparing balanced, nourishing meals for themselves. So if you're still standing at your stove, still chopping vegetables, still simmering soup or baking fish or making your favorite family recipe, you're preserving one of the most vital routines of self-reliance. You're fueling your body the way it needs to be fueled, not just for today's strength, but for tomorrow's clarity, mobility, and stability. Cooking at 70 also plays a surprisingly strong role in maintaining mental and emotional health. The sights, smells, textures, and processes of cooking activate the brain in multiple regions at once. They connect you to memories of your childhood kitchen, your mother's hands, or the meals you once cooked for your family. Cooking can be deeply emotional and grounding. It's creative, rhythmic, sensory. It keeps the brain engaged and provides a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Let's also not underestimate the role that routine plays here. Cooking and eating at regular times each day provides structure to life, especially in retirement when time is more open and less scheduled. That structure is stabilizing. It gives the day shape. Preparing breakfast, lunch, and dinner creates a rhythm, a reason to get out of bed, a natural break in the afternoon, a comforting way to close out the day. For many, this is what prevents feelings of aimlessness or depression. It's a simple act, but a deeply grounding one. Cooking also keeps your environment alive. If you're in your kitchen, it means your living space is active and organized. You know where things are. You can reach what you need. You're able to clean up after yourself, wash dishes, store food safely. All of this indicates that your living situation is still functioning well, and so are you. And for those who live alone, cooking is even more significant. It's easy to let things slide when no one else is watching. But preparing meals for yourself shows that you still value your own well-being. It's an act of dignity. You're saying, I matter, my health matters, my routines matter. That mindset is powerful. It's the opposite of decline. It's maintenance. It's forward motion. Now, some people at this age face arthritis, tremors, or fatigue, and they adapt by simplifying their cooking process. That's fine. Success doesn't mean making gourmet meals every night. It could mean planning easy, nutritious meals ahead of time. It could mean batch cooking on good days, or using tools designed for easy jar openers, lightweight cookware, or seated food prep. The key isn't how fancy the food is. It's that you're engaged in the process, managing your needs, and staying connected to nourishment on your own terms. So yes, if you can still cook and manage your meals independently at 70, it's not just a convenience, it's a statement. It says your hands are still strong, your mind is still active, your habits are still healthy, and your spirit is still invested in living well. Health professionals recognize this as a core pillar of independence, and rightly so. You may not get applause for it. No one might see you peel that apple, boil those eggs, or season that pot of soup. But every one of those actions is a quiet victory, and when added up, day after day, they represent something extraordinary: your continued ability to care for yourself, nourish yourself, and live life with strength, purpose, and pride. At 70, if you can walk without support, maintain good balance, and move confidently through your day, you are doing something far more remarkable than many people may realize. Walking is so common, so automatic, that we tend to forget what a complex, coordinated act it really is. But in older age, especially past 70, the ability to move under your own power without a cane, walker, or holding onto walls signals not only physical strength, but also neurological health, joint integrity, coordination, and inner confidence. Being able to walk freely is about more than mobility. It means your muscles still respond quickly and accurately. It means your joints still have enough range and flexibility. It means your balance system located in your inner ear, brainstem, eyes, and feet is still working in harmony. And that means your nervous system is functioning well. Walking is a whole body experience, and at this stage in life, retaining that freedom is one of the strongest signs that you're still aging with power, dignity, and independence. Let's start with the physical aspect. Walking requires strength in your legs, hips, and core. These muscles help propel you forward, support your posture, and stabilize you with every step. If you're walking comfortably and without fear of falling, it means you've retained enough muscle tone to keep yourself upright. That's no small feat. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, is a normal part of aging, but staying ahead of it takes effort. If you've been walking regularly, staying active, doing basic exercises, or even just avoiding prolonged sitting, then your current mobility is the reward for those habits. Balance is a huge part of this conversation. If you're still able to stand on one leg while putting on a sock, walk upstairs without gripping the handrail, or navigate curbs and uneven ground with ease, you're demonstrating a balance system that many your age no longer have. Balance isn't just about the body, it's a reflection of brain function, especially in areas like the cerebellum and the vestibular system. Good balance also involves proprioception of the body's sense of where it is in space. If all these systems are still in sync for you at 70, that's a quiet miracle of biology and self-maintenance. We should also talk about what it means emotionally and psychologically to still walk freely. Movement is independence. It allows you to shop for your own groceries, visit friends, attend appointments, take walks in the park, and enjoy the world without needing to rely on someone else. For many seniors, losing the ability to walk independently is the moment when the world starts to shrink. It's the point where options narrow. So if you're still walking unassisted, you still have freedom of movement, of choice, of life. The fear of falling is one of the greatest hidden fears among older adults. And it's not an irrational one. A single fall can lead to fractures, hospital stays, and a cascade of complications. But if you're still walking with confidence, without hesitation, it suggests that you have both the physical readiness to prevent a fall and the mental assurance to move without fear. That's a big deal, because walking isn't just about legs and feet, it's about trust. Trust in your body, trust in your surroundings, trust in yourself. Health experts place tremendous value on gait speed and walking ability when assessing the overall health of someone over 65. In fact, your walking speed has been called the sixth vital sign because it correlates so strongly with life expectancy, independence, and quality of life. If you can still walk briskly, say, across a room or down a hallway in less than 5 seconds, it's a sign that your body is still working in good harmony. You may not think about this consciously, but doctors and geriatric specialists do. Now let's not forget how walking impacts other aspects of your health. Every step you take supports your cardiovascular system, pumps oxygen into your brain, helps regulate blood sugar, and keeps your joints lubricated. It's also one of the best natural mood boosters out there. Walking increases endorphins, reduces stress, and helps clear the mind. A simple daily walk has been shown to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, which become more common in older adulthood, especially for those living alone. If you're someone who enjoys walking outdoors, the benefits go even deeper. Being outside connects you to nature, the changing seasons, the sounds of birds, the rustle of trees. You engage with your environment and stimulate your senses. That's nourishment for the soul as much as it is for the body. Walking in nature even improves cognitive function and reduces the risk of dementia, according to recent studies. So if you're still walking outside regularly, you're not just exercising, you're healing, centering, and preserving your mind. One overlooked but deeply important part of walking ability is foot health. At 70, if your feet are still supporting you well, free of severe pain, swelling, or deformity, you're one of the lucky ones. Foot problems are extremely common in older adults, from arthritis to plantar fasciitis to neuropathy. And because the feet are our foundation, when they suffer, the rest of the body follows. If you've taken good care of your feet over the years, so wearing supportive shoes, addressing issues early, and avoiding high-impact abuse, you're now reaping the benefits every time you take a step. Let's also talk about posture. Many people by age 70 have begun to stoop, lean forward, or shuffle. If you're still able to stand tall, walk with a normal stride, and maintain posture without pain, it shows that your spine, hips, and core are still functioning properly. Posture is more than aesthetics. It affects breathing, digestion, circulation, and even confidence. Standing tall means living tall, even in older age. Of course, no one is asking you to walk like you did at 25. Slowing down a bit is natural. Needing to rest now and then is expected. But if you're still covering ground each day, walking without pain, and balancing without fear, you're carrying with you a great deal of preserved strength, both seen and unseen. So the next time you go out for a walk, take a moment to appreciate what that ability represents. It's a sign of resilience, a sign that your body, though older, is still capable, that your health, though tested, is still standing, that you, at 70, are not sitting back and letting life pass you, you're stepping forward into it. And truly, that's one of the clearest ways to know you're winning. Step by step, quietly, powerfully, on your own 2 feet. At 70, if you can still sleep well through the night without heavy medications, constant interruptions, or waking up feeling groggy, you're doing something truly remarkable. A restful night's sleep is one of the clearest signs that your body and mind are in balance. In fact, sleep is often the first thing that begins to slip when something's off with our health, whether it's physical pain, emotional stress, medication side effects, or cognitive changes. So if you're getting a full night's sleep naturally, you are winning on many levels. So quietly, consistently, and powerfully. Sleep is not just rest, it's repair. During sleep, your body gets to work fixing what was stressed, inflamed, or worn down during the day. Muscles recover, blood pressure regulates, the immune system becomes more active, the brain flushes out waste and consolidates memories. This is especially important in older adults. Poor sleep is closely tied to a higher risk of cognitive decline, falls, weight gain, depression, and even heart problems. So when you sleep deeply, you're not just preparing for tomorrow, you're protecting yourself today. Now, let's be honest. Most people don't sleep the same way at 70 as they did at 30. Our sleep cycles change with age. We spend less time in deep sleep. We may wake up more during the night or feel the urge to visit the bathroom more often. But despite these normal changes, some people manage to maintain a high quality of rest without pills, without frustration, and without daytime fatigue. And if that's you, your body is telling you that it's still working in rhythm with nature. Falling asleep without struggle is a sign that your nervous system isn't overly activated, that you're not carrying too much anxiety into bed, that your cortisol levels, your stress hormone, aren't spiking at night. People who drift off gently usually have well-managed stress, healthy habits, and a certain peace of mind that can't be faked. It means you've created a safe space, both mentally and physically, for your body to let go. That's a skill and a gift. Staying asleep is just as important. It means your blood sugar isn't dropping dramatically, your bladder is under control, and your brain isn't hyperactive or unsettled. These are things that go off track in many older adults. So if you're still able to sleep 6 to 8 hours without waking multiple times, you've either got strong biological resilience, well-managed health conditions, or most likely a combination of good habits and self-awareness. Let's not forget the importance of sleep environment and routine. If you're someone who keeps your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet, if you avoid screens and heavy meals before bed, if you keep regular sleep hours and respect your body's natural rhythms, you've built a solid foundation for good sleep. These habits don't happen by accident. They come from years of understanding your needs and responding to them thoughtfully. And what about medication? Many people your age rely on sleeping pills, sedatives, or over-the-counter solutions just to get through the night. But these often come with risks of grogginess, falls, confusion, or dependency. If you've been able to maintain good sleep without relying on medication, that's something to be deeply proud of. It means your sleep cycle is still functioning naturally, and your body's own chemical messengers melatonin, serotonin, and GABA are still doing their job. Good sleep also reflects what's going on during the day. Are you physically active? Are you mentally stimulated? Are you socially engaged? All these things contribute to restful nights. People who sleep well at 70 are often people who live well during the day. They move their bodies, challenge their minds, connect with others, and then allow the day to end gently and fully. That's balance. There's also a strong emotional component to sleep. People who sleep peacefully are often people who have come to peace with themselves. They carry less resentment, less anxiety about the future, and less regret about the past. They've learned, perhaps through pain and practice, how to let go when the day is done. That kind of emotional wisdom supports deep rest. Your body can't fully relax if your heart and mind are carrying tension. So if you fall asleep with a clear conscience and a calm heart, you're doing better than many regardless of age. Dreaming is another overlooked element of sleep health. If you're still having dreams so vivid, memorable as it means you're reaching REM sleep, the deepest stage of the cycle. This stage is crucial for emotional processing and memory consolidation. Many older adults begin to lose this part of sleep, but if your nights still carry dreams, your brain is still processing life in a rich, meaningful way. You're still emotionally alive. Sleep also impacts your energy levels and mood the next day. If you wake up feeling refreshed, alert, and in a good mood, it means your sleep is doing what it's supposed to do. It's not just quantity, it's quality. Some people sleep 9 hours and still feel exhausted because their sleep is fragmented or shallow. But if you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours and waking up ready to take on the day, your body is restoring itself well. Let's also look at the ripple effects of good sleep. It supports your immune function, so you're less likely to get sick. It keeps your metabolism in check, so you're less likely to gain weight or develop insulin resistance. It strengthens your heart, stabilizes your mood, improves your memory, and even supports bone density. In other words, it's the engine behind almost every system in your body. At 70, this kind of protection is priceless. And here's a subtle but meaningful truth. People who sleep well tend to enjoy life more. They look forward to the next day. They trust that their body will support them through another morning. They don't dread the night, and they don't fear being alone in the quiet. That emotional stability, that quiet joy, is one of the great hallmarks of healthy aging. So yes, if you can still enjoy a full night's sleep naturally without needing pills, without tossing and turning, and without waking up groggy, you are winning. You've preserved a natural rhythm that many people lose. You've taken care of your mind, your heart, and your habits. And you've given your body the space it needs to rest, heal, and carry you forward. At this stage in life, it's not about how much you do, it's about how well you recover. Sleep is that recovery, that restoration, that peace. And if you still have it, then quietly, deeply, you are ahead of the game. At age 70, if you can still sit down and have a meaningful conversation and truly listen, share your thoughts clearly, and connect with another persona, you are living proof that the mind and spirit are not only still working, but still flourishing. In a world that often measures success by wealth or speed, we forget how valuable it is to simply speak, to be heard, and to understand. Meaningful conversation is more than chit-chat, it is human connection. It is dignity in action. And if you're still doing it, you are winning in a deeply human way. Think about what a real conversation involves. You need memory to recall what you want to say. You need language skills to express yourself. You need emotional intelligence to listen, understand, and respond in a way that makes the other person feel seen. You also need confidence, the belief that your voice still matters. When you sit across from someone, look them in the eye, and exchange real thoughts or feelings, it's not just talk, it's life being shared. At 70, that ability is precious. And make no mistake, it is an ability. As we age, some people pull back, they speak less, they withdraw. Sometimes it's physical fatigue, sometimes it's hearing loss, sometimes it's grief, depression, or loneliness. Over time, those silences can become permanent. But if you still seek out others, still enjoy chatting over coffee, still ask how someone is doing and truly care about the answer, you are keeping your spirit in motion. You're not letting life shrink around you. You're reaching out up, and that matters. Health experts have studied the connection between conversation and brain health, and what they've found is powerful. People who stay socially engaged, who talk regularly with others, and who remain curious about ideas and relationships, are far less likely to develop dementia. It turns out, conversation keeps the brain flexible. Every discussion you have uses your memory, your reasoning, your word retrieval, and your emotional regulation. It's like a full-body workout for your mind, except with tea or laughter instead of dumbbells. But there's another side to this. Meaningful conversation is not just about what you say, it's also about how you listen. And if you're still someone who can sit patiently, give someone your full attention, and really absorb what they're telling you, then you have a kind of emotional strength that younger people often struggle with. Good listening shows maturity, calmness, and wisdom. It means you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, you're giving someone a safe space to be themselves. That is a gift. Many people your age are carrying great burdens, losses, regrets, health concerns. But when you can talk to someone and let those feelings out, even a little bit, it relieves pressure. It keeps your emotions from getting stuck. You don't need to solve everything. You don't need to give perfect advice. But when you share what's in your heart, your memories, your fears, your joys, you release something powerful. You say to the world, I am still here. I am still thinking. I still have something to offer. There is also something incredibly healing about sharing your life experience. At 70, you've lived through events that younger generations only read about. You've made mistakes and learned from them. You've raised children, built relationships, made hard decisions, and seen the world change in ways that are hard to explain. When you share those insights with someone younger, or even with the peer, you are passing along wisdom that could make a real difference. That kind of conversation bridges generations. It brings perspective, and it reminds you that your life still holds meaning. Let's not forget the emotional health side of things. People who have regular conversations with others, especially about more than just the weather, tend to report lower levels of depression and anxiety. Why? Because they feel connected, they feel seen, they feel understood. Loneliness is a silent epidemic among older adults, but conversation is a medicine. It doesn't need to be long or deep. Just having someone to talk to, someone who listens, can change how you feel about your diet and about yourself. Some people think being 70 means slowing down, going quiet, or keeping your opinions to yourself. But I'll tell you the truth. Now is your time to speak freely. You've earned the right. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to pretend. If something moves you, say it. If someone needs encouragement, give it. If you disagree with the direction the world is going, voice your thoughts, but do it with the grace and depth that only life experience can provide. A meaningful voice at 70 is not just respected, it's needed. And let's talk about humor. Being able to share a laugh, tell a story, or even poke fun at yourself is one of the greatest signs of emotional vitality. If you can still really laugh with another person, you're not just alive, you're living. Humor keeps relationships light. It heals awkward moments. It reminds us not to take life so seriously. And when your laughter is mixed with the wisdom of years, it becomes the light that others naturally gravitate toward. There's also the joy of intimacy, not just romantic, but emotional. Being able to open up to someone, To say what's in your heart without fear of judgment is one of the great blessings of age. If you have someone like that in your life, or if you are that person for someone else, your conversations become sacred ground. In a world that's often rushed and shallow, depth is a quiet revolution. So if at 70, you can still hold space for real conversations, still think clearly, speak honestly, and listen deeply, you are living proof that aging is not about fading, but about refining. You are still in the game, you are still capable of connection, and you are still deeply human in all the best ways. That's not just success, that's mastery. At 70, if you still wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose, something to look forward to, someone to care for, a reason to get up and move, you are experiencing one of the most powerful indicators of a meaningful, healthy life. Purpose isn't always loud or obvious. It doesn't have to be a job or a mission. It can be something as quiet as tending a garden, checking in on a friend, writing in a journal, or feeding the birds outside your window. The important thing is that you feel useful, that you still feel needed, that you still feel alive. Many people associate aging with loss, a loss of roles, jobs, relationships, status. But what often hurts the most is the loss of direction. When you no longer feel like you're contributing or that your life has value, it becomes easy to slip into sadness, boredom, or even despair. That's why purpose is such a lifeline. If you still feel you matter, then you're not just aging, you're still growing. Health experts have long recognized the connection between purpose and longevity. Studies show that older adults with a strong sense of purpose are more likely to live longer, have lower rates of heart disease, and suffer less from cognitive decline. Why? Because purpose gives structure to your days. It gives your mind something to focus on, and your body something to move for. It adds meaning to the ordinary moments, getting dressed, making breakfast, going outside. These become acts of intention, not just routine. What counts as purpose? It's different for everyone. For some, it's caring for a pet. For others, it's volunteering, helping a neighbor, or staying involved in a community or spiritual group. For some, it's creative via painting, knitting, building, writing. For others, it's relational, being a good grandparent, a loyal friend, or a wise advisor. You don't need to be changing the world. You just need to feel that you're part of it, that you have a role to play, that someone or something depends on you. At 70, purpose often shifts. It may no longer be tied to work or raising a family, but that doesn't mean it disappears. It just matures. It becomes more about being than doing. It becomes less about achievement and more about meaning. You may find joy in mentoring younger people, sharing your life stories, or simply showing up fully for the people in your life. You've lived long enough to know what truly matters, and now your purpose is often found in those deeper, quieter places. Waking up with purpose affects how you carry yourself. People who feel useful tend to move with more energy. They take better care of themselves. They eat better, exercise more, and keep up with their health appointments. Why? Because they have a reason to. They want to be there for someone. They want to finish a project. They want to enjoy another season. Purpose turns I should into I want to. That shift makes all the difference. And let's not overlook the mental health benefits. Purpose is a strong protector against depression and anxiety. It keeps loneliness at bay. It helps you process grief and loss because it gives you something steady to hold on to, even in sadness. Even in pain, purpose gives you direction. It's the compass that points you forward when the road feels uncertain. And at this age, that's something we all need. There is something powerful about having a reason to open the curtains in the morning, to make the bed, to prepare a meal. These small acts become rituals of purpose. They say, I'm still here. I still have something to offer. When your days have meaning, even simple, quiet meaning, you live with more peace, more gratitude, and more resilience. It's also important to say that purpose is not something you have to find out. It's something you create. You shape it through your actions, your intentions, and your attitude. Even if your world has become smaller, your impact can still be large. A kind word, a thoughtful letter, a shared memory. These are purposeful acts. They don't require strength or speed. They just require presence. And if you've already found a sense of purpose that fills you with joy or peace each day, hold on to it, nurture it, let it evolve as you do. And if you're still searching, Don't worry, you haven't missed the chance. Purpose can be rediscovered at any age. Sometimes it comes from within, and sometimes it's awakened by others. A new friendship, a book, a conversation, a small act of kindness that reminds you of your own value. Another quiet truth: purpose often arises from love. Love for people, for nature, for learning, for life itself. If you love something or really love it can guide your days. It might be tending to a rose bush, reading to your grandchildren, making soup for a neighbor, or keeping your late spouse's memory alive through stories. These acts, rooted in love, are purpose. Don't underestimate their power. Spirituality can also give shape to purpose. Whether you practice a formal religion or simply feel connected to something greater than yourself, that sense of belonging can infuse your life with meaning. It reminds you that you are part of a bigger story, one that continues even when your role changes. Many elders find peace and ease in knowing they are part of something timeless. And remember, you don't need to prove your purpose to anyone. It doesn't need to be productive, profitable, or praised. It only needs to feel true to you. If it gives you a reason to care, to try, to smile, that is enough. So if you're 70 and still feel excited about the day ahead, if you still have something that stirs your heart and gives your steps meaning, you are doing far more than aging well. You are living well, and you are showing the rest of us what true success looks like. Because in the end, purpose is not about what you do, it's about how you live. And when you live with purpose, every day becomes a victory.